to A Window to Bourne. I'm your host, Mavis Robinson, and I'd like to say a little something about the Bourne Historical Society. The Bourne Historical Society has a mission to serve as a bridge from the past to the future. And we do that in a number of ways. We do that with events, and we do that with preservation of artifacts and photographs and letters. And a very important part of serving as that bridge are people that step up and fill in the gaps for us where we don't always know the full history of a local person or a local event or a local thing. And I have one of those people today, one of those people who helped to bridge the gap. Joining me today is Michael Talbot, and Michael has very generously donated a number of items to the Bourne Historical Society for preservation. And Michael, thanks so much for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, we want to talk about the items that you brought,
yes,
because they're very exciting. But also, let's just talk about you a little bit. Where are you from? And
well, I'm from Haverhill, Massachusetts.
Okay.
I work at Federal Express,
yep,
and work hard, and so they gave me today off to come here to spend with you.
Nice.
People. I'm very interested in history. I do pretty much all our family history. Amateur, but I'm not like a professional.
Yeah. But have you done genealogy and things like that?
Not so much. Yeah. Pretty much tracing our roots and getting back to when we came over and things like that, all the stuff everybody wants to know. But
yep,
very interesting, great stories. Probably one of the best things I found was the stuff here on Harry Avery.
Harry Avery, yeah, and he's sort of the subject of the collection that you brought into the Bourne
Yes,
Historical
yes.
Society.
And
what's your connection with Harry?
well, Harry Avery, I never knew him. He died like in 1950. He has been a big part of my life, especially growing up, believe it or not, even though I was born in 1957. He was kind of a hero of my father. My father, Erwin Talbot, was his cousin. He's like basically my second cousin. Mm-hmm. He grew up, my grandfather passed away in 1935, and my father was still like 16.
Okay.
So my father never really had an older man to look up to as a father image after his father passed away. Well, Cousin Harry, he filled that gap very well. Mm-hmm. Cousin Harry was an extraordinary guy, and as you can see by most of the stuff I got that I brought down, I was lucky to find, had a big impact on my father's life. He would take my father on patrols with the state police, who he's a lieutenant with.
And he was in the state police, and part of what you brought in your collection was a really nice-looking, handsome picture of him standing in front of
yes,
not his car, not his state police car, but another car, right?
Yes, and it's one of the mysteries, one of the things that the professionals at the Bourne Historical Society probably can figure out better than me. But he did some work. That car actually was a gift. Mm-hmm. He went to find a person that was tasked with this. And of course I have included also, it would be a letter from the Secretary of State asking that the LA Police Department cooperate with him, give him information and all the help that he needs to find this person.
Because there was a missing persons case in LA.
Yeah.
Now he drove all the way from Massachusetts to LA to assist with that?
Yes, and the reason why I believe is that it had mass connections, obviously mass roots.
Yeah.
Who that person is, I don't know.
So that's a mystery we'll have to
that's so cool, yeah,
research.
if we can find that out.
Yeah.
But he did get that car, and I was very proud of it, obviously, as well as his position in the state police, for sure.
Wow.
But
so your dad used to actually ride around with him on patrols, or?
Yeah, well, what they would do is, he was a lieutenant. He started off as commander of, I'm not sure how he got into the state police, but at an early age, he started off as an electrician after the war.
Yeah.
And then somehow got into the Mass State Police, and I assume it's because of his military career, his record in the military.
Now, when you say the war, a lot of times people will think, oh, World War II, but really we're talking about World War I, right?
World War I, which we're celebrating the centennial of that now.
And some of the incredible things that you brought that I was very struck by were some medals and commendations from World War I that were given to Harry Avery.
Yes, yep.
There's one that's actually issued by the town of Bourne
Yes.
in honor of a World War I veteran, which I didn't even know that existed, and I've never seen it before. It was really incredible.
Yeah.
We've got his dog tags. You had another couple of medals. Did you have any research or information about those, or?
Well, one of them was with pretty much all the soldiers got would be a victory medal.
Okay.
And it's a World War I victory medal. And on it, what's very interesting about that medal, and it's very well worn, and the reason why is my dad, when he was small, would wear all his cousin Harry's medals.
And we have a photo of him doing that.
Yes,
right?
we do.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
we do. So they a little wear for tear there, but relatively in pretty good condition. But if you noticed, he served with the Yankee Division, which was the 26th Infantry under the commander of General Edwards, who Fort Edwards is named after.
Okay.
He was in the 101st Ambulance Corps, which, and if you've seen that new movie, Hacksaw Ridge, kind of is like one of those guys without the gun running out and pulling people off the field.
Yeah.
Well, he served with them, and in pretty much every major engagement, I think they were in 5 major engagements. And in one particular engagement, he was cited for bravery for going out in the field and bringing in a wounded soldier. So he actually has a commendation from General Edwards, which you have in your possession
in the collection.
now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I mean, he was a pretty extraordinary guy, for his age, especially to run out, And of course, if you ever see that movie, Hacksaw Ridge, that is not easy to do.
Right. It takes a lot of bravery.
Yes,
even if you're not carrying a gun, just being in that theater is incredible.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But he was a big influence on my dad, and he got into the state police. I'm not sure when quite he got in, but he was a lieutenant. So that's not a small feat.
Right.
He went in there. He was I think he was in Holden, in charge of Holden. Then he went to Bridgewater, and he was in Northampton, and was a commander. My dad used to go, and he would take my dad, for rides, and he got to sleep over in the barracks and see what it was like, and look,
wow.
and just get a little bit of taste of that. But quite an adventure for him.
Yeah.
And through that too, my father got to go to the White House.
Oh, wow.
And how that happened was a lot of people go to the White House and stuff. It was a little different back then because you got to actually walk in the Oval Office and pretty much walk around and look.
Do you know who the president was at the time?
Yeah, FDR.
Oh, wow.
So it was around there, and he saw his Chesterfield cigarettes. He always talks about what a trip that was. But Harry used to actually be on a detail that kind of watched one of Roosevelt's sons. I can't remember which one it was. He went to Groton Academy, and Harry was in charge of the detail that would basically keep an eye on him, and make security and safety. So through that, I believe he got a few connections, and which would be one of them was Sterling. I'm sorry, I keep saying Sterling. It's actually Starling. Edmund Starling,
okay.
who was the head of. Actually, he was the head of the Secret Service.
Yeah.
For 5 presidents, not just one. He's starting off with Woodrow Wilson, all the way to FDR. Actually, was the last, and he actually has a couple of books, I believe, written out. But somehow he developed a relationship, Harry did, with this gentleman. And so he got invited to the White House, and he got to get a tour, I assume, by Mr. Starling.
Yeah. And your dad was there.
My dad was, he was probably like 15 and just in awe of everything.
Yeah.
But of course, obviously the president wasn't there, but he saw his Chesterfield sitting there, and he saw everything all set up, pretty much, the way it was. So pretty interesting stuff. For a young kid.
And as of now, we've talked about this Harry Avery, and I love hearing, from you telling us your dad's perspective. What's the Bourne connection with Mr. Avery?
Well, Mr. Avery lived actually here in Bourne for a short time. He's actually born in Providence.
Okay.
He moved to Falmouth for a short time, attended the public schools there, and finished out high school, I believe, at Bourne High School.
Yeah.
Where they moved. They moved right over here, I believe it's County Road.
Okay, yeah.
I know the house well. I don't know the address.
But you recognize the house by
a lot of times, such good memories of that house. And like I said, I never knew him. My father just loved that guy, and especially his Aunt Margaret, and loved him too. But as kids, we would come here just to ride on the Cape Cod Canal
Yeah.
back in the 60s when it wasn't that really popular.
Right.
So we would drive down these the dirt road with the shells and get flat tires every once in a while. But one of the big highlights was to drive by, you know, Cousin Harry's house or Aunt Margaret's.
Yep.
And on our way to to Monument Beach.
Yep.
So we would go that way, and it just was a big part of my life, and it's just such fond memories of Bourne. You know, the only thing I really did was come here and ride the Cape Cod Canal once in a while, but it feels it has a special place in my heart for sure.
I love thinking of the canal as having the non-paved road. And you said it was all a shell road?
It was like shell, gravel. The Corps of Engineers doctored it up every once in a while.
Right,
but,
right.
And bike riding wasn't really that popular back then in the 60s as much.
Right.
So we were pretty much
well,
out there
especially
by ourselves.
if you're on a dirt road too, it's your
dirt roads aren't good. Yeah. They didn't have mountain bikes back then.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But he had such a huge impact on my father's life, and you can see it through the records too. That my father, you know, when World War II broke out, my father, of course, you know, he was concerned about his mother, and he didn't want to enlist right away until he made sure his mother was okay. But his cousin Harry sent him a letter saying, you know, hey, you know, get off your rear end. Get in the Army, I'm going to watch your mother. Don't worry about us. So that's when my dad enlisted when he got that letter.
Wow.
So it was pretty good. So, you know, a big impact on my dad's life. And it's funny, too, because Harry started off as an electrician in his trade, you know, right after the World War I.
Yeah, yeah.
And so my dad was an electrician. So you can see how that's kind of affected him.
Right,
You know, and it really influenced his life, for sure, growing up.
Yep.
That's one of the great things about being able to do this with you today, and actually to give you the things that I found, all the mementos, the letters. It's just huge to me. There's two people here, and the reason why I'm here, one would be for my father, for sure. The other one would be for Harry Avery.
Yep.
He had such an impact on my father's life,
Yep.
and just molded into what he was. And my father, I feel, was a pretty good person. And to honor his hero, I'm so happy that we could be here today and just show you these things.
I know.
And it's just huge. And a lot of times history tends to forget people.
Well, yeah.
It's kind of funny because when I called up, nobody really knew who he was. And of course, I grew up, you know, thinking of him as the Marvel Man, basically. And it's funny, they don't even know who he is or where he lives. And then I'm looking through all his stuff, and then obviously through research and everything, it was pretty easy to find. But, you know, he was single. He didn't have a wife. He didn't have any children when he passed away, and he passed away at age 50.
Oh, wow.
Pretty young nowadays,
yeah.
today's terms.
So we have a picture of him sort of as an older man, and he does not look 50 in that photo.
Yeah, he looks old. Well, I think he got wounded in World War I, and but they consider getting gassed. He got gassed once.
Yep.
And so that's technically being wounded. What happened was, I think it affected him in later life. Because he died of, he had diabetes. He had a lot of things, plus the stress. Probably of being a lieutenant in the state police,
right.
and everything else he had to go through too. So, you know, all that stress just added up. And of course, everybody smoked a lot back then.
The Chesterfields on the president's desk, right?
Even the president of the United States, for sure.
Yeah.
But it was amazing to find all this stuff. And when my father passed away, we were cleaning out the house. And we found so much information about Harry. I learned a lot about him after my father passed. And we would find letters from somewhere in France, you know, written to his mother. He was a mama's boy for sure.
Yeah.
And he would always write to his mother every single day. And I would find all the letters spread throughout all over the place of my father's house.
Yeah.
And then I find medals. I find this, and luckily I was able to keep them, and they were in pretty good shape. So
because paper does not last well. I mean, you know, it's amazing the stuff that you brought. Now we have things that are in albums. Did you put those in albums?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah.
I finally got it together, and it took a while to do that, but we actually got a pretty good collection for him.
Yep.
So I thought about, I could put this on the internet. I'm thinking all this stuff.
Yeah.
But
no,
then,
definitely.
of course, that's the human side of me thinking. But I felt it was best for my dad's memory, for his hero to be remembered again.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, history tends to forget people. Harry had no children, no wife, no one to carry on his legacy or his story, really, because when he passed, he was gone.
And at one point that you were telling me when we first met that the town was going to name either a road or a park. He was a pretty well-known figure in town for a little while.
Yeah, he got elected to a selectman board of Bourne in 1940.
Okay, yeah.
And throughout, he served pretty much all that. And he was in later life, I guess, if there was a later life before 50. He was very involved in the town, very involved in politics. After his state police career, he decided he started working with a lot of youth groups through the American Legion. He was very instrumental in the Massachusetts Boys State, which was back in the 30s was a place for kids to go, especially during the Depression, to have a place to go in the outdoors. He was one of the, he was passionately involved with that. As a matter of fact, I have some pictures with that. Also, through the American Legion, they had an athletic program for kids, young people, the development of young people that he was also a very active part in. He was in the Kiwanis Club. He was a 7th degree Granger. He was really very active after his state police career. So it's so active to the point I think he almost was trying to aspire for a political goal, which is when it gets to the point where he actually ran for Congress.
Oh, wow.
He ran for Congress 1947, and we have a couple of his cards there from that, which I found interesting because I never knew that. But looking it up, Diaz, I think, was the guy he ran against, and again, don't quote me on that. You can look that up. But he got routed pretty good, so so maybe that wasn't so great for him. But it was a great experience, and he knew a lot of people. But his passion was taking care of America's youth. He worked during World War II with the USO. Very, very active with the USO.
What did he do for them?
He was on the committee.
Okay.
Exact position. I'm not 100% sure. I don't have much on that.
But he was in the background organizing.
Yeah, he was an organizer, schedule events. He was also in. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was basically for Jewish veterans. This is while the war was going on. Basically, they kept track. It was a board of the Jewish Veterans Committee. I'm trying to remember the exact term of that. But it would basically keep tabs on Jewish people in the military, and what their conditions were, or where they were, or.
Wow. Just to give them extra protection because of the.
And I think it's support too. Support.
Wow. Yeah, just because the circumstances of World War II were so
not
ugly.
So good. Any war, actually.
Right, that's true. Yep. When you mentioned all the clubs and civic involvement, you did bring this incredible medal from the Redmonds Society or Redmonds Club. Do you know anything about that? Or
well, I know the Redmonds Society basically is descendants of people of the American Revolution.
Okay.
So I know that at the Avery side did have people in the Revolution for sure, and it was kind of a fraternal order, brotherhood. They're supposed to be descendants from, I guess Revolution veterans. Sons of Liberty.
Right. Okay.
Direct,
good. Well,
type of thing.
The medal itself is really unique, and I personally hadn't seen anything like that.
I never have, and that was his father's, Harry Burnside.
Okay. Yeah.
So he kept that, and again, that's one of the ones probably my father wore out in his backyard.
Oh my gosh.
And it's in good shape still.
Yeah. Those pictures of your father as a little boy wearing his father's medals. I mean, that's incredible. It's like, or wearing his father's and Harry Avery's medals.
It's just amazing.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Something to show a little wear for that.
But it's worth it.
Definitely.
I mean, it gives you that special connection.
But again, one of the things that makes me really happy about being here is, again, getting back to what I said about history forgetting some people. And I feel like it's great to bring out people from the past that have really dedicated their life to a certain extent for their town or community, which I believe Harry Avery did, especially the youth. Very committed. He had a lot to do with when they were putting in the Mid-Cape Highway.
Oh, really?
And I think actually they were thinking of naming it after him.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Along with the high school. at one point.
It was going to be named after Harry Avery. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
that was a suggestion.
Yeah,
it never
yeah.
came through, though.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not sure why, but again.
It's somewhat inspirational how involved he got. You know, he didn't have children himself, but he certainly put a lot of energy into trying to affect the lives of both kids he was related to and, you know, just you know, anybody else.
He has such an impact on a lot of people, especially my dad.
Yeah.
So it was huge. But I think it goes back to, I don't think he had the best relationship with his father from the family rumors and stuff. But he never wrote a letter to his father, never mentioned his father. And his father died like 1940, I believe, yeah. But, you know, not too much. But he was definitely a mama's boy.
Yeah.
Yes, I am too. So. It's okay.
Moms are great, right?
Moms are great. No one will ever love their kid mom.
And those letters to his mother that you've given us, I mean, those are incredible too. You know, it just tells the history. You mentioned eBay. It can be really tempting to sell these things, and I don't blame anybody who does, but I do fear that some of these important stories will be lost to history. I mean, you know, helping us tell this story, you know, coming on here and, you know, you're really voicing your own father's history in a way that is crucial and, you know, will last forever. And it's really, you know, I'm glad these things didn't get sold to California somewhere, and then someone else throws them away because they think, oh, Bourne, Mass, you know, who cares about that history? So
we care.
We care, yes. No, I wanted to ask you about another like really special item that you brought. It was a shipping document from the late 1800s, and it was a 18th century shipping document.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about that?
That's actually from 1756.
Yeah.
And
oh my gosh, this 17th, 18th century.
Well, this is getting off the course of Harry Avery a little bit.
I know, but this document's so incredible. It's worth.
Yeah, there was my mother's side of the family. There was some rumor we had. His name was John Young, lived in Truro on the Cape, and he was a sailor back then. And what happened was he went on a voyage in the 1750s and landed up in the Sandwich Islands, which are now the Hawaiian Islands. And this is even before Captain Cook went there. Yeah. He went there, and this is a long story short, because it can be very long, is that the ship basically, the Hawaiians get kind of sick of them being there or for whatever reason, so they want to chase him away. So he gets stranded on shore with a lifeboat, him and a couple other sailors. And when they found out they were being attacked, they ran and hid. He ran and hid in a barrel, from what I heard. I'm not sure, but so what they would do is burn the boats, and they would use the nails. Metal was very, it was a very important item for them for fishing, things like that. Yeah. They didn't have metal, so they burnt the boat he came on and got all the nails out of it and stuff. But he ended up getting captured, and it's kind of like the Pocahontas story, is that he got captured, and I think the other two sailors got killed, and what happened was he ended up being taken to the chief, and for some reason, this is where the Pocahontas thing is. I feel funny talking about this, because we laugh about this in my family, but is that one of the chief's daughters ended up liking him, and to the point where the chief, I'm trying to remember who it is, Kalamea, something like that. Yeah, I'm not great with the Hawaiian But actually,
names,
he was one of the first chiefs that united the Hawaiian Islands. So the Hawaiian Islands, just a bunch of different factions fighting each other constantly. So what happened was he was a bosun's mate on the ship, the American. I'm trying to remember if that was the correct ship's name. But what happened was he ended up marrying the princess, and because of his Western knowledge of warfare, and they kept the ship because they took the ship over too. So they used that ship basically in war. So John Young, I'm sorry, basically showed him Western method of warfare.
Oh wow!
And the Hawaiian Islands got taken over, so he became an advisor basically. So, and that gets down, long story short, to those newspaper articles in that document. Is that my great grandmother was trying to make a tie into us in Hawaiian royalty. So we laugh about it, but because he actually had children that became in the Royal Society of Hawaii.
Okay.
And when Queen Emma died back in 1890 something, people were all trying to cash in on
Oh, if
what
we're
they can,
right, yeah.
So
yeah.
unfortunately, that.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, even though I love the fact that you're taking the story with a grain of salt,
Definitely.
but those family legends. I mean, it's an apocryphal story. It's one of those kind of almost like a fable more than
Yeah.
like history, but some of those have a grain of truth, and
yeah.
and I like the fact that your family is keeping that story alive by trying to have a connection to it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, where did you come across that shipping document? Your grandmother got that, or has it been passed down in the family?
Oh, it's been passed down. I'm not really 100% sure why she kept that, and
Yeah.
that's the mystery of it. But also with a bunch of, like from the late 1800s, newspaper articles that were clipped out.
Yeah.
And basically talking about people that, the big thing was, we related to this John Young from Toro, Mass.
Yeah.
And so there never was really quite a connection, even though that name Young is tied to our family.
Yeah.
Rather solidly.
Well, just having that piece of paper that has existed since 1750, it's incredible
amazing.
to see.
It's like older than the Constitution.
Yeah,
it's like so cool.
It's awesome. Well, I just wanted to wrap up by thanking you, because you are providing such an important service to the cause of history, to personal memories, and to the town of Bourne by not going to eBay, but by going to the Bourne Historical Society with this treasure trove. It really is incredible, and we can't thank you enough for helping us preserve the history of the town of Bourne. So,
well, thank you for having me
thanks.
again, and I hope that those really serve you well.
Well, thank you.
All right.
And thanks for joining us today on A Window to Bourne, and I'll see you next time.